So we also tried to look at the history of the labor struggle, because this is not just about people who were denied their rights and were in a bad socioeconomic situation. But this is a story also about a community that fought hard to try and ensure its rights of representation. And here we show a selection of strikes. In some you can see some of the strikers also dancing, but also the more recent demands of 1,000 rupees, so that even as late as 3 years ago, there's an ongoing struggle to try and increase the daily wage to 1,000 rupees. This is a victory that they won, but obviously with the economic crisis, particularly following COVID, the question of whether 1,000 rupees a day is enough for sustaining a household is a big question. And if we look at the history of the struggle, it also includes that for land. What we are showing here is both an early map from the colonial period showing the different estates, and you can see the concentration of estates, and the pink is the rubber and the green is the tea. But the photograph really is to show something about the impact of this large-scale cultivation, because following the wasteland ordinance passed by the British, the colonial authorities took over large tracts of land, particularly in the Central Highlands, and just cut all forests down. So there's a vast impact it also had on the ecology of this country. And the struggle for land has really been at the core, where the Malayalam to date are still in the estates trying to gain control of the right to their house property. And to talk about maybe some of the emotional connection is there is a story about this sari, where when some of the workers who were repatriated back to India, that they tied a bit of the earth from either their house or from their temple, and they tied it to the end of the sari, and that they took with them when they left. And so this is symbolic of that, and that's why when we think of the community, it's also important to remember that they have a large emotional connection to the land that they live on, even though they do not have the rights or documentation to prove it. Maybe this is a selection of the poetry written by principally female poets, and we have compiled a book it's called Resistance Through Verse, which is a series of poems by different people, starting from Meenakshi Ammal, who was one of the early poets. And the important thing to realize is that from very early on, there's a very strong culture of verse, so either through song and then later poetry, where both male and female poets would talk about their situation, about their struggles, their aspirations, and that's what we try to represent here. And also to note that there still continues to be a wealth of young poets, including female poets, who are publishing and putting out lots of work reflecting the diversity of the community, both geographically, but also in terms of aspirations of politics and views. And maybe if I could show you here, this is how literature was also passed on that time. So there'll be groups who come, who sing or who recite, and that they'll bring various leaflets with either poetry or prose and distribute to the workers as a way of both political awareness raising and education. These are some of the texts that we used as sources for the exhibition. It includes novels, poetry, political theory, and history. And it represents also a lot of the work done from within the community, and that's what's important to acknowledge. So I do hope that you all will all come to the exhibition. It's on from today, the 18th of August, to the 27th of August, from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the public library. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you all here.